Topic. More than 70 million people are displaced throughout the world, but one Minnesota-based organization continues to deal with the refugee crisis by responding to what refugees themselves say they need, especially those who are part of the LGBTQ community. Shamaila Usmani and Samantha Brown work with the Minnesota-based Alight, formerly the American Refugee Committee, an organization I'm so proud to have reported on and traveled with in the past. Welcome to both of you. Thank you so much for being here. We've talked before about the challenges of refugees today, what they face, but what is unique to this particular subgroup?
So with this particular subgroup, there's a lot more discrimination. So refugees, as you know, are already discriminated against within their host countries. But with LGBTIQ refugees, you're seeing that discrimination show up in the housing space, in the workplace, as well as with the services that are provided to refugees. And in addition to that, there's increased levels of mental health issues, trauma, as well as health problems in general, and isolation, because unlike other refugees that have a support system because of their families, this group unfortunately doesn't.
And that's remarkable. So given all of those challenges, what is Alight doing to help deal with that and to help address both the challenges and also help these people and give them some of that hope?
Yeah, our mission at Alight is to create a meaningful life with and for the displaced, and we really believe that means getting all of their needs met. That means making sure they're able to pay rent, they're able to put food on the table at the end of the day. Things that are particularly hard for LGBT refugees. But we also believe we want to highlight some of the bright spots in their lives. So we try to do things that go above and beyond that. In Nairobi, we've hosted a fashion show with them. We've also taken out a group to a movie when one was anticipating their number to be called for their asylum case to be assessed. So we try to make sure we do the whole spectrum of projects.
The two of you, Shamaila and Samantha, are able to travel and to really help these people directly and be on the front line. For those at home watching today who don't have that opportunity, what can they do to help this particular group who are especially vulnerable and at this moment of crisis?
Yeah, so I would say first and foremost, raise awareness. Oftentimes we think of refugees as a homogenous group, when in fact there are people that have different identities, ethnicities. So I would say have those conversations with your friends and family and your networks. We actually are going to Kenya in the new year, so if people are interested, feel free to call us. We'd love to have that conversation if that's something that sounds interesting. And lastly, as Sam mentioned, we're doing lots of great things, meeting immediate needs, but also highlighting the bright spots, really focusing on the community and their whole needs. So if you'd like, visit our website and get in touch with us to give.
So important. Yeah. Any further thoughts, Samantha?
No, I think she
wrapped it up really well. Well, thank you both of you for what you do each and every day. Appreciate the attention to this very important ongoing issue. And with that, there is more information about Alight. We have it on our website, KARE11.com. We will also have it on the KARE 11 app. Just look under As Seen on TV. And we appreciate, again, all of your work and your presence here today.